Good evening, everyone. It's amazing to see our wonderful Thai community here. So, welcome to today's session on building your first AI assistant, which is a no-code workshop for founders. So, this workshop is predominantly turned to build AI assistants that solve real business tasks. So, for all the first timers, let me give you a little bit of introduction about Thai Dubai. So Thai is the only Middle East chapter of Thai Dubai, which is based in DIC, and we work on five foundational programs, which is mentoring, networking, education, funding, and incubation. So may I please encourage everyone to lift your phones and scan the QR code of our social media channels. We would love for you to stay connected with us. And this is where you'll be updated on the upcoming events as well. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to do that. Okay. And this is the link to our WhatsApp community where you're going to stay updated on all events, programs, and other important announcements. So the next announcement that we are going to release is our September calendar. So may I please encourage all of you all to scan the QR codes, and we'll take 10 more seconds for that as well. Okay, then. All right. So, as promised for September, we have reserved the next month for our Thai Women Regional Finals. So, as you can see, the dates are 8th, 9th, 10th, 16th, and 17th. From 8th to 10th, it will be virtual, and 16th and 17th, it's going to be in-person regional finals for Thai Women. So, I invite all of you all to please come forward and support our finalist. And here is our QR code if you want to register for the final event, which is happening during September 2026. Let me know if you guys can give a thumbs up once you've registered. Okay, all right, cool. Without further ado, it is my privilege to welcome Mr. Ciprian, who's a CTPO of Mom's World, to take over today's session. He has built one of the region's AI native engineering organizations. So Chip, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here and lovely to be with you guys today. I'll just spend the better part of this hour just trying to demystify what our journey was when we built our first agents. We're going to start slow and understand quickly the core concepts while work is happening as you watch and as we work together through it. We will look at additional resources. We will end the session with some takeaway documents that will give you a collection of resources that will help you to actually build your first useful agent. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, I will share the whole screen. We will use Claude, the desktop app, for this session. However, you can use both Claude and ChatGPT. As a warm-up exercise, we're gonna do something that I should have done way earlier. I do not know, honestly, why I didn't. And that was create a skill that would allow me to create a PowerPoint presentation that contains always my branding, my tone of voice, my logos, and for me to get exactly the same results regardless of how many times I use it. We're going to do this exercise together, and while the work happens behind the scenes, as we can't speed up, unfortunately, the response time of Anthropic's models, we will look at certain resources. We're going to look at how we can find useful skills and useful agents. So I'll go ahead and create the first project, the project that we're going to use to create our first skill. So we're going to call it PPT skill. I will go ahead, create the project for the purpose of this. We will use cowork. Let's make a little bit more space here. I should probably minimize this as we will not be using it a lot. So the first thing that I always do whenever I want to interact with AI, just because I'm a slow typer, or maybe just because I'm a bit lazy, I go ahead and use a voice dictation tool. And why do I prefer doing that? Just because I can speak at 140 words per second while I can only type around 50. So let's start with the first PPT skill. Alrighty. We are looking at creating a skill that will capture my tone of voice, the brand of my company's colors, and we will bundle it all in a reusable skill that I will use to generate all my PowerPoint presentations moving forward. This will ensure that the header and the footer is always the same. The tone of voice is really important for us. So we're going to make sure that we have a section for the tone of voice. The graphics, the colors are also very important. Before you go ahead and show me what the structure of the skill would be, ask me any relevant questions that I would have to answer in order for us to structure the skill to yield the most consistent results possible. Now I will lift my speaking key. And usually when doing live things, sometimes things don't work out as we would want them to. In this case, they did. I will go ahead and ask Claude to go ahead and do that. While this is happening, I will move this on half a screen so we can still see what's happening. And in parallel, we will have another window here. We're going to go to my favorite platform where I could see reusable skills that the world has created, open source, with, very importantly, security scans built in, so I won't get hacked and my data won't be stolen. So I'll go ahead and open skills.sh. And what is skills.sh? Skills.sh is a collection of skills that are reusable. You will see that in total here, they're around 1.2 million. They range from companies like Anthropic, which is the company that owns Claude, to Google, etc. So, for example, in this case, I would want PowerPoint. Alrighty, we will take a pause, we'll use our distributive attention and see and answer the questions that Claude has for us. So what material do you already have that we can build the skill on top of? I do not have an existing PowerPoint. I do not have a brand line, logo files, and color codes only, nothing formal yet. We are starting a startup. We will go ahead and answer the first question. What should the tone of voice come from? I'll describe it, and I will want you to ask me a set of relevant questions that will help you easily define it. Alrighty, great. What kind of decks does the skill need to handle? We do sales and client pitches. We do investor and board decks. And we do internal updates and reviews for sure. Okay, we go ahead. How strictly should the skill enforce the brand lockdown? Great. So while Claude works on this, If you already have a presentation that's in the tone of voice of your organization, of course, that helps a lot. However, for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm not using one just because some of us might be starting from scratch. If we already have a well-defined tone of voice, a well-defined brand guidelines file, just attaching a file here, it's so easy, and Claude will retrieve all that information from there. If we already have a website, we can go ahead and tell it, hey, actually the colors are from here. And we're going to do that exercise in a bit. Now, while Claude works, and I think this is a hack, since I started having my work powered by AI, I learned that I can do things while things are happening in the background. Professional by human, of course. What position does your company take? We are the Calm Guide. We want to have headlines. We want to have only one core voice. You never want to have more than one core voice. And we will add one more thing, momsworld.com. If I could spell, righty. Yeah. All righty, beautiful. Okay. This is our platform. Righty. So that will help with the colors. So if we look at, we come back to the PowerPoint, to skills.sh here on the right-hand side. There are a lot of skills that we could definitely reuse. Most of them are around a specific type of use case. So if we grab the first one, which has 5,700 installs, the beauty of it is, one, it is open source, so you could find the whole source of it here. I'll just zoom in a little bit for you. You could click to open the repository because this will be hosted on GitHub, but you don't need to. You have the content of the skill here on the screen. For you to install it in Claude Code is this way. However, if you want to just tell your agent, hey, use this, you could just click on prompt, copy, and give it to your agent. Unfortunately or fortunately, this skill is relatively shallow. So even though it has a lot of installs, the security audit says that it's safe to use. It's not necessarily the most useful one. We come back to the color system. Since nothing is formalized yet, we need to pick a direction. Use the URL provided. We want to go usually for safe fonts, just because the moment that you want to share presentations with third parties, you would have to pay attention every time to bundle the font in your presentation. We want the logo, we will want the slide number, we want the section, of course, confidentiality line, can add whatever else you want to. We would want to appropriate brand. So coming back to our skill hunt, the first PowerPoint skill wasn't great. If we look at the second one, which is a PowerPoint designer, it has a bit more details. It defines a design system. For us, it defines the fonts and when they should be used, and it defines a workflow. Why is this important? And it's not necessarily related to this specific PowerPoint skill, to any skill. It's important for us to collect the knowledge of how skills should be structured, and there's no magic to a specific skill. A skill is a set of instructions. At the end of the day, it's just a markdown text file. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. Some of them are more detailed, and some of them are less detailed. However, they are always just a set of instructions. In this skill, for example, they go as deep as defining the animations and transitions from slide to slide, what an aha moment is, and how does that relate to each slide, and how does the user attention should be, how should one guide the user attention on a slide. I will not get into details. So let me hide this. So this is my favorite platform. It has 1.2 million skills. We looked at PowerPoint. We could look for SEO. And there is an amazing collection from Corey of SEO skills. You could pick a skill and you could look at the whole set of skills that are exposed or published by a specific creator. So for example, this specific SEO audit skill has 200,000 installs. For us at Mumsworld, we run a variation of it. This was our starting point as a SEO skill, and we have updated it based on our needs. Very important, skills are ways, and plugins are ways where people could inject specific instructions into your coding assistant. So always use a platform that will, one, expose the source of the skill so you can easily read it, but also ensure that it runs some sort of security audit from reputable companies. So Socket and Sync are platforms that do security reviews for a living. That's their USP. And you could get details on the why, for example, the specific skill was flagged as a medium risk. So in this case, it says because it instructs the agent to look at specific files like robots.txt or XML sitemap, or run specific Google searches, which could be detrimental. But you could see it, you know it's analyzed, you know it's virus-free. We go back. What brand? We just do Mumsworld. We do magenta, our color, and we're going to do English only for now. Who will be using this skill? The whole company eventually. So it took Claude around 10 minutes of work to finalize the skill, a skill that we can use to generate our first PowerPoint presentation. We're going to generate a 3-slide presentation quickly to see that we get repeatable results. We're going to export the skill, and we're going to see how we can share it with our friends and colleagues. So coming back to skills.sh, while work happens on the left-hand side, skills.sh, an amazing resources for skills. If you are a user that visits it very often, I find myself going to the trending tab to see what else appeared overnight that I might not be aware of, and see if this will generate value or bring in value for my workflow or not. Great. We have covered skills.sh, and this is around skills. While this work is happening here, I will, alrighty. So work has finished. Great. So we will review and steer right now. So let's see what is the structure. What's the skill? This is the structure of the skill. We have the assets. It will generate a PowerPoint template, so it can reuse it. We will have the tone of voice. We will have the layout, the deck recipes, any sort of charting that's required, the skill file that's used to share it with our colleagues, and brand.json, which is the single source of truth, will tell us what our brand stands for. So if we look at the design system, it defines the primary colors, it defines the highlight colors, and it creates consistency that we can reuse. The logo at the top, and then the tone of voice. Not adjectives, but concrete rules. So for me, the tone of voice is relatively shallow as it doesn't fit our brand. So I will ask for an update on the tone of voice first of all. While that works, we're going to go through the rest of the assets. The tone of voice is shallow. You need to focus on the fact that momsworld.com is a platform that serves moms and mothers to be. We see ourselves as a big sister, as a friend, as someone that advises you and helps you and guides you through your motherhood experience, offering you objective but supportive advice and feedback and recommendations. We want to make sure that we tailor the tone of voice to be very specific, as that's a key for us to get consistent, repeatable results. Now we will just give a second to my voice assistant that will just drop in the text. And now, while this is running, we will review the rest of it. So the tone of voice was a bit shallow, yes. And then it said it needed one thing for me. It needed the logo. So let's provide it with a logo. I will go back into the browser. Let's go to momsworld.com, and I will just take a quick screenshot of the logo. It will be good enough for this for the purpose of this session, but we would want for the real skill the real logo. So what we would want to do, let's create a folder. We go on the desktop. We create a new folder here that we're gonna call it E-skill. Alrighty. We will open that folder. We will quickly head to the desktop and move that file there. Now we will go ahead and tell it, hey, you have the logo here. This is the logo. Alrighty, beautiful. So now Claude is continuing the work to wrap up the skill. So what do we need to provide? Your big sister credibility, all right, but Momsworld sells things. How far does objectives go? She'll tell you not to buy, honest with what's in stock, warm and confident about the range. We will go ahead and we want to be neutral on choice, opinionated on the product, covers a lot of ground, 2 years ahead. We are very experienced and we are warm, regardless of the nature of the slide, if it's a chart, if it's financials. Beautiful. On the right-hand side in Claude, we will see what we're working on. Under outputs, any files that get created will emerge here. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize, however, it's really important, and we're going to quickly go through this while we're wrapping up, finishing this skill, would be for us to first look at connectors. What are connectors? Connectors are basically MCP servers, but what's the easiest way to describe it is ways to connect Claude to external tools. So for example, if you want to connect Claude to your Google Drive, it is one click away. You select the connector, you hit connect, and you log into your Google Drive, and all of a sudden Claude has access to Google Drive. You can connect almost any tool, and for the tools that don't have a MCP server, In the document that you're going to receive at the end of this session, you will see how Claude can do one for you. For example, for this session, I have a couple of tools connected, allowing Claude to control Google Chrome, allowing Claude to connect to Contact 7, GitHub, and Xcode. So for me, Contact 7 on this user, it's really important as it offers Claude with the latest informations about frameworks and coding standards. I don't have it connected on this profile. However, if your company uses Slack or it uses a different tool like Google Chat, it's really easy to connect it. Again, one click away. First-party plugins, they're great, and third-party plugins, they're great as well. Plugins are ways of how you could group together skills, commands, scripts, all of it in one package. And for the purpose of this exercise, we will install a skill maybe from Anthropic, but it's not limited to Anthropic, and it's not limited to the skills that we see in the marketplace. You can find skills from and plugins from partners as well. But you can find skills and plugins open source everywhere. So for example, Tribe AI has published a brand voice plugin that will allow you to easily generate, and it's one example that we use to generate all the documents that you need in order to enable your agent to understand your brand. Plugins and connectors and skills. So they're in the order of blast radius. So skills are the smallest unit. A connector can connect can offer your agent multiple skills and give it access to one or two services. A plugin could contain multiple skills, connect your agent to multiple platforms, and offer it a set of skills. Now I'll go ahead and close this and wait see what's happening with Claude, as it seems like it's running a bit slow. If the screen doesn't refresh in 1 second, I'll just close it and open it quickly again. That happens when we do things live. So let's just try to make it full screen and remove the full screen. Yeah, I think it just needs a quick restart. Let's quickly restart it. And we will resume. That's the beauty of it. We can always resume whatever we were working on. So if we go back to projects, alrighty. I hope everyone can still hear me. We go back to the PowerPoint skill, go back to the tool that we were at. Alrighty, so the tone of voice is created, beautiful. So now I will say, go ahead and let's open this to the side and create the in the share. Beautiful. So Mamzol's tone of voice, I always advise everyone to scan through whatever your AI produces or generates, as otherwise you will end up with slop. Proximity, composure, yes, memory, not reference, mistaking your choices. All right, the 5 principles, composure, yes, the emotional registry map. Yeah, it looks good. Now we will be waiting for it to build the skill. And while that happens, we will go ahead, and as this will take around a couple of minutes, I think since time has been flying and we're already in the middle of the session. While this is happening, maybe I can answer one or two of your questions and that you had so far. And then once the process here finishes, we can go ahead and resume.
So, Chip, I have a question for you,
Please go ahead.
and that's been the most common question. So, what is the initial prompt that you put in Claude?
The initial prompt doesn't matter. I think we put in a lot of effort and energy into thinking that there is a magic shortcut that will make things outrageously good. It's not. So if we look at the first message we started with, this is related to what we're working on. And I believe in being very specific. And when I have a task that I repeat a lot, I create a skill around it, and I have my own collection of skills that I use every day. So if we look at the prompt of this first session, it just describes in enough detail, but without bloat, what I'm trying to achieve. So you shouldn't try to have these massive prompts where you go ahead and you collect a lot of informations. Try to use your agent, and in this case, let's say we use Claude to steer it towards collecting a checklist. So hey, we are working on a skill. It's a skill for a brand that wants to have repeatable presentations that everyone can generate easily. Okay, what's the next step? Tone of voice. What's the next step? Logo. What's the next step? Fonts, etc. And you build it up in a specific conversation. For things that are bigger, I prefer creating projects because you can have multiple conversations within a project. You can search within a project, and each project has its own memories.
Thank you. I think that answers the question to the founder who had asked that. And the second most common question, is this skill feature only for Claude? And what about
No.
Gemini?
The beauty of it, everyone has exactly the same concept. And for Gemini, it's called gems. So, for example, one of my most useful gems that I created looks at my schedule for the day, breaks it down into two halves, what happens before lunch and what happens after lunch, and it creates a summary for each of my meetings. It goes ahead and finds any pending points, any talking points from previous sessions of that meeting. If it's a repeated meeting, gathers all the context, and at 7 a.m. it gives me a summary of the day, and it tells me, hey, you have these meetings. These are the notes for each of the meetings. You are due to prepare ABC. You are expecting this person to provide you with ABC. And it's as easy to use as Claude.
Thank you, Chip. And another question is, do you need the desktop version of Claude to use connectors, or can you use connectors with the browser version as well?
You can use connectors with the browser version as well. Why I recommend, if you have the ability on a laptop to use the desktop version, it's because it's faster. Once you use it for 2 or 3 hours, the browser version might become a bit slow. You might have to restart your browser, but you get the same results. The features are transferable everywhere. And since the skill is just a set of files, you could just drag it into Gemini. You can grab a skill from here. So if I go ahead and I would just do gemini.google.com. Since a skill is an MD file, if I want to grab this skill, right, it's just an MD file, I will go ahead and grab the text, and I could say use as a skill moving forward. And this will, you can give it a name and it will remember it and you can use it moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very insightful. And speaking of skills, how to determine which skill is useful or not? That's another question that we have.
So which skill is useful or not? So first of all, what are skills? Skills are shortcuts towards doing something that you've done before, but faster, right? So without repeating your work. So the way I do it is I look at, hey, what are things that I end up doing manually, repeatedly? Creating PPTs, it's one of them. Summarizing properly meeting notes, and we're going to get to that in a bit. It's another thing. And Gemini and Zoom, while they create meeting notes, I'm not happy with them generating the takeaways for me and a bunch of other things. So that's another skill that I heavily use. In terms of getting a skill of the internet and trying to understand which one is useful, well, the North Star is installs usually. So if Anthropic has a great front-end design skill, and it has so many installs because it's so good. But if you look at number 2, it's a skill by Matt Pollock. This is a human, it's not a company, right? So the Grill Me skill was deemed so useful that 948,000 people installed it. I would look at installs over the name, but I would read the context of the skill. What does it mean? What does it contain? And in this case, you could see it in Matt Pollock's repo, and he has a README here that tells you exactly what the skill does, how it works. You can also give this link to your Cloud Code or ChatGPT, and it will be able to understand it. So this is how I define which skill is useful, what's not, what I'm going to use it. And I believe in experimentation. So I will try it a couple of times. Usually it wouldn't give me the results that I want. I will tweak it to give me the results that I want. And then I will go ahead and add it to my collection and reuse it. And maybe share it with my team.
Right. Okay. So you spoke about sharing with your team, right? So I have another question from a founder. So once a no-code agent goes from one person's workflow to a team member, who actually owns this? And who knows, who has the entire control of this?
So it's a great question, and it's a challenge that that a lot of people face. Who owns it? Well, if we think about agents, they're processes that run, right? So who owns it? It's a decision that you guys need to take. So an agent can run on multiple tasks at the same time. An agent is a collection of skills and tools, right? This is what an agent is. There's no magical thing. The same thing we're doing now, we can run it with Claude Dispatch in the cloud. You can start it on your laptop and then continue it on your phone. You don't need to use Claude. Gemini lets you do the same thing. Codex from OpenAI and ChatGPT lets you do exactly the same thing. So who owns it? It's usually who maintains it, and you guys need to decide and separate users versus owners, right? While multiple people might use it, some people will maintain it and update it. So for example, for this PPT skill, while the whole company might use it, X person will own it. Why? Because they're going to maintain it. Because when we will change the logo, that person will go ahead and update the logo. If that makes
Great.
sense.
Yeah, so please drop in your thoughts in the comments as well, everyone. And Chip, I have another question which just came right
Yes, go
now.
ahead.
So when an AI agent gets something wrong in a real production workflow, how do you
Yeah.
decide whether to fix the prompt or guardrails, redesign the workflow, or reduce the agent's autonomy and keep a human in the loop?
So, as we well know, LLMs are not deterministic, right? So we can do as much as we can and as much as we want. They're not LLMs. They're large language models. They're not going to become deterministic, so they're not going to follow always exactly the same flow. What we should aim is to achieve the same outcome through guardrails. If in production, if I try to achieve something, to do something, I have an agent that reads my emails, classifies the emails, and moves things into various folders. The moment it makes a mistake, I would go ahead and take that specific case scenario, run it again exactly through the same agent in a conversational manner, and ask what went wrong, why it did that, what information was it missing that would have helped it to achieve the right outcome that we wanted. I take those informations, and that would yield either two results. One, I need to update the system prompt of that specific agent, restrict access to some tools, give access to some other tools, create a skill for that specific part of the workflow, or shrink the responsibilities. So as we build, everyone starts with an agent that will do one thing, and over time, it's human nature. We're going to go ahead and give it more responsibility and more responsibilities, and this will just generate bloat. And when the agent gets to a certain size, at that point we should look at creating a second agent and distributing the responsibilities. Personally, having experimented with both, I'm not a big fan of a second brain or my PA assistant that does everything. I have an agent that runs in Gemini that handles my meetings. Cloud Code handles Jira for me, and it handles GitHub for me. And that runs on a schedule. All the interactions with Slack happen through either Cloud Code or through ChatGPT. So with specific agents. So I try to divide by the topic. And if we would take this and put it in a real life, jack of all trades, master of none sort of saying kind of applies here. You want a team of experts with specialized skills for every and each thing. So now, before we take, I hope this answers the question.
Yeah.
So our skill is done. We will go ahead and save the skill, and we will look at the skill to see exactly what it means, right? So we have the skill here. I will just expand this. Alrighty. So in terms of assets, we have the Mamzor logo in white and in pink, and the full Mamzor logo, just the little face white in every color. So this is the layout PowerPoint presentation that it bundles with the skill, so it doesn't have to redo it every time. And you have examples that of how most things that you'd need in a presentation would look like. This is for future agents to be able to just use the Mamzol deck skill and be able to create a Mamzol deck. You have a starter that will always be used. It might look like weird, but you'll have to trust me on this. That will always be used as a starting point. And you have a couple of examples. This is the JSON spec. It will always generate a spec in a format that it could easily reuse. So it could be JSON, it could be XML. You have an example board deck here. We have a README for the humans. And then we have references. This doesn't matter. We're not going to spend time on it. The references are important because they're referenced in the main skill. So charts and data, how does it deal with charts and data? The deck recipes. So what is a deck, what are the sections it will contain, what type of deck it is. And this is just the starting point. This is not the end result. And this is something you can tweak and continue tweaking. And then I'll shortly show you how you share it with your colleagues. Of course, you have layouts, you have the tone of voice. We already have read that. And it created three scripts. One, it's a brand check script that will allow it to check quickly that a deck aligns with the brand or not. A script to build a template, a general script that allows you to work with the skill and a new deck. Then this is the beauty. This is the brand.json file that dictates how our brand is interpreted by Claude every time. So what does it mean? What is the policy? What's the tone of voice? What are the colors we use? What animations do we use, etc. And of course, the core skill. The core skill should be relatively to the point, describe the workflow and tell Claude how it can use it. So it should be very clear. You will create multiple Mamswell decks. The type of decks we selected at the beginning, we can always add decks later, the type of layouts, the files that ship with this. Great. So now that we have the skill and we can use this skill because it's already available to us, we would want to tell Claude, I want to package to share it my colleagues. Now, this is one way. There is another way we can just go ahead and archive it. However, for those of you, like you asked, that you will want to do it on the cloud, on the web version, you will probably want to package it for you and give you a zip archive. 15 minutes past, we created a solid skill. I guess it's good that in the post-session document, I will take you through how you create your second one, which will we want it in Claude as an installed skill. Me changes go through me. Yeah, that's the intro. In the document that we will share with you guys at the end, you will be taken through how you can build your own agent that will just handle your meetings, take the meeting notes, summarize them, extract takeaways, how it could run a workflow in the same style as this skill, but in way more detail. I would want you to use the workflow that we've seen today in order to create your second agent. And while the packaging happens, I think we can go ahead and answer a few more questions.
Sure. So speaking of skills, we have another question. Does the skill stay locally on your PC or does it go to cloud? What about brand copyright? Does it stay protected in that case?
So the brand copyright is a legal matter. So I will tell you something. Everyone can infringe on your copyright today very easily because of tools like Claude, Codex, etc. And through prompts, you can create a new platform in the style of Instagram. I would not try to enforce the style guidelines or the branding uh, in a way, or be worried about other people copying them, because we can assume that right now copying is easy. In terms of will these skills stay local or go to the cloud? Well, if you use, for example, in Claude or in Codex or in Gemini, the desktop app, and you create a project and you store the skill locally, it will stay locally. In my case, if I will show you, you will find it here. This is the skill. This is what we created today. So what is Claude doing by packaging it? I will show you. It's this. So now this zip archive, I can share it with all of you. And how would you use it? You would go here, you would say skills, and you would say browse skills, and you would uh, this is how you install the existing ones, but you can't do it through connectors. Ooh, they changed the menu. So you would want to manage skills. You would browse. No, you would add. You would upload it, and you would grab the zip archive that we've done. You would open it, and because we have it already, it will ask me, do you want to upload and replace it? Here we go. I uploaded and replaced it. This is the skill. So now I can use it here, but it goes to Anthropic servers. It's not going to be public to other users. It will stay in your account. But I wouldn't use in skills any sensitive data ever, just because sensitive data should stay on your computer always, not go to the cloud. But basically, this is the skill that we created. This, if archiving this folder will allow us to distribute it to everyone. And I have showed you guys how you add it to Claude. In the same way, you just drag the folder to any other platform, Codex, Gemini, and it will work, regardless if it's local or cloud.
Thank you so much for that, Chip. And another question that I have is, how do you evaluate whether an AI agent is worth the cost and complexity compared to a simpler automation? And how do you avoid over-engineering?
I appreciate the question, and let me show you something, right? So I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll do this clear. All righty. So let's do, where is it? Yeah. I'm running a command here. I'll tell you the outcome of it. It's going to count my token usage. So let's and break it down monthly. So if we look at the last month, this is the last month, right? If I would have paid for tokens, I would have spent $25,000, $25,122.41 to date, right? And the month is still not yet done. So if I would have used API calls, the previous month, 23,000, almost $24,000, and the previous month, just $1,000. Yeah, it's not on this profile. And this is my personal usage. This is on my personal profile. It's not the company profile. Well, I would never personally pay $25,000 a month on Claude. However, I do have one Claude subscription that's $200, one Codex subscription that's $200, one Grox subscription that's $100. And I do pay for those, but this is the amount of value I get. The way I would advise everyone to start is to start with some sort of budget in a way that you can bind the cost, because you will try to run something overnight and you will wake up with a $3, $5, $10,000 bill. The easiest way is to run a subscription that will give you X amount of usage within X units of time, and that will make the cost work. Do not buy, to begin with, do not buy, from my point of view, the likes of Lovable, Base 44, etc. These general builders, up until you know exactly what you need. I would start with Claude or Gemini, or I would use Codex from or ChatGPT from OpenAI. They're general enough, but useful enough in day-to-day usage. But at the same time, you can just, if you want to build something, you could just go and say, hey, Claude, actually, I want to write code. And you can do that with Claude. Because here you have chats and tasks. But here, if I just press it, it goes to Claude. It goes to code, yeah? So here, I can go ahead and start writing code, and it will build most of the things that I would ever need. and it could even save them online and let me use them. So this is how I would approach it. As mistakes happen and overspending is bad. In terms of trying to decide on an ROI before getting the $20 subscription, it's going to be very, very hard for you to calculate an ROI of something that you don't necessarily know if it's going to be helpful, how it's going to work, will you like it, will your team adopt it, etc. So I would say go for the smaller subscription, test it, use it, understand how it fits into your workflow. Don't take someone's journey when they're 1 or 2 years into using something with your day one, because in day one, they weren't great. In day one, they weren't this comfortable and they were overthinking everything.
Thank you so much, Shiv. That was very, very insightful. So we are still in towards the end, like 2 more minutes for the session to close. So I just have one last question. So if you joined a mid-sized business tomorrow, what would be the first workflow you would automate with AI agents to create a measurable business impact within the first 90 days?
Well, it depends. A small. It depends. If it's it depends on the company, right? If the company is a logistics company versus if the company is a software house or the company is a marketing agency, the answer will be different. However, I will tell you how I will find out what I should do first. I will spend a day or two sitting down for meaningful time, half a day, just observing the people that have a high output, that do that need to produce a lot of work, whatever that might be. And there's such people, and every organization knows who they are in various departments. Everyone has their go-to to do this thing that we were supposed to do for a week ago, but now we have 5 more hours to do, and they will be able to help. So I'll go down, sit with each of the functions. So if I would sit down with technology, for example, and they're not using AI-driven engineering, well, the first thing I would do is I would look at their software stack and create a set of skills for each of the things that they use. So if they use Shopify, I will take an existing Shopify skill and enhance it. If I would sit down with, for example, with finance in a logistics company, most likely they will tell me that they're getting 100,000 PDFs from their 3PLs at the end of the month, and some of them consolidate it in a CSV and others don't. And it takes a team of 8 people a week to go through it. So most likely I will tackle that first. But it depends from organization to organization. There's no silver bullet. We sit down, we observe what people do, we identify which is the thing that they do the most, and that's the first thing that we tackle.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Chip. So, any more questions, anyone? So, we are towards the end. Chip, do you have anything to finish off?
Uh, it's a journey. This is what I can tell you. So for me personally, this started in May 2024 when I put on a slide to our board telling them that we're introducing next quarter LLMs at Mumsworld. We did not introduce in Q3 LLMs at Mumsworld, but we did introduce them in Q4 2024. And we've been going, and I've been personally going through this journey, I guess, for over 2.5 years now. And my style evolved, my workflow evolved. And what works for me today wouldn't have worked for me when I was in month 1 or quarter 1 or year 1, just because it's a shift in the way you work. It's a shift in multitasking. I was not a believer in multitasking. And right now, for me, if I go ahead and show you, even while we're having this conversation, where is it? It's closed here. But I can show you further. herder, right? So these are the agents that always run on my laptop, whatever they are, right? That never stops. And now I'm comfortable and confident to do that while I have this conversation with you guys and spend my morning then reviewing what happened and update the steering and then fix the harness and fix the guardrails and have a lot of my work happening, regardless if it's research work, regardless if it's discovery, regardless if it's creating presentations, regardless if it's preparing me for meetings. I'm comfortable now for it to happen behind the scenes. To build that confidence within you, it's not going to happen in a day, it's not going to happen in a month. Your style is going to evolve, tools will grow, get better, at times get worse. However, the set of skills and the set of agents that you're building, you will carry them with you. The knowledge that you're building and the way of thinking, you'll carry it with you. And that's the most important part, because you see nowadays tools change so rapidly. It's really, really hard to answer what's the best one. There's no best one and there's no fastest one. Today, nowadays, probably the fastest one is Grok. And this is one of the reasons that I started using it a couple of months back. Just tokens per second, it's outrageously fast. But I'm still a user of Claude. Most of my work started moving to Codex from OpenAI, as I like their latest model more, and it works better in a lot of cases. Claude still works great on a lot of other use cases for me personally. So there's no perfect tool. It's just what works for you for a specific task. It doesn't need to be one tool, and invest in yourself. The ways of working are changing, and just being part of this conversation, being here, showing interest and trying to move forward and upskill yourself clearly shows that you guys are on the right track.
Well, thank you so much, Chip. It was very, very insightful, and I'm pretty sure that everyone had tons of takeaways, and it was a stellar session. Thank you so much for your time on behalf of Thai Dubai Board and Events team. It is our privilege to have hosted you, and thank you to our Thai Dubai community for being so supportive and for turning up before the long weekend. So before I let you all go, please scan the QR code which I had given, and I'll be again sharing it in the WhatsApp community. And please do join in for our next set of events, which are coming in from September for Thai Women regional finals. And then we have another set of events happening as well. So thank you, everyone, and hope you all have a fantastic long weekend. Thank you so much, Chip.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. And again, we will be the team at Dubai will be sharing with you some resources that should hopefully get you started. If you guys have any other questions or things that you've missed, I was looking at the chat now, and you guys were asking about, hey, where do I find this here or there? Just reach out to the team, and they're going to guide your questions. They're going to get to the right place. Everyone's happy to help. Thank you so much for spending your I guess your Friday, because some of us tomorrow are off, some of us aren't, with us, and have a great weekend, long weekend ahead.
Thank you so much, Chip, and thank you, everyone.